Hey guys, welcome back to Fan Talk. This is a podcast by me, Kyle Brenchley, avid sports fan. You can find this podcast on Spotify, iHeartradio, and YouTube. As you can tell, my voice is not lined up with the video. This is because on Friday, when I was filming this episode, for some reason, the studio that I was in, the sound was not working. And so I did this entire episode, 20 minutes long, and did not capture any sound. Usually the sound is just automatically hooked up, and so I did not check it. But in the future, I will be checking it every single time now. So, lesson learned. So, I'm just going to briefly talk about essentially what I talked about in the episode. It'll only be about 5 minutes or so. I apologize, but next week, big episode. I got my friend Kai coming on to talk about the Super Bowl, and it will be super awesome. So, this week's episode, I essentially just talked about the NBA All-Star reserves being named, looking ahead to the All-Star game. I also talked about some of the snubs, and I'll just mention them here. I think De'Aaron Fox should have made the All-Star game. He's been playing really well, but he did not get in. Other than that, I think it was pretty good. Shout out to Larry Marketing from the Utah Jazz making it. He's having an awesome season. Same with Sabonis on the Kings. I think they're just getting a lot of recognition now that they did not get last year. So that's what I talked about for a little bit. And then I broke down some of the trades that could potentially happen at the trade deadline. Obviously, on Friday, I was talking about where Kyrie Irving might land. It is now Sunday night, and as you may know, the Brooklyn Nets decided to trade Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. They're pretty crazy. I talked about in the episode that the Mavericks were a potential landing spot, but I didn't think it would be great because I thought Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving would clash. Now, you got to remember Kyrie Irving was going to be a free agent this summer anyways, and so he told Brooklyn, hey, trade me or I'm going to walk anyways. So Brooklyn was like, well, we might as well trade him and get assets out of him because if he walks, then we get nothing. So I was thinking the Lakers would be a good fit for him because LeBron and Kyrie have teamed up before. I just think the Lakers, well, obviously the Lakers couldn't get enough pieces put together in time, and the Mavericks could. So here is the deal if you don't already know and you are living under a rock. So the Mavericks are sending Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, an unprotected 2029 first-round pick, and a second-round picks in 2027 and 2029. And the Nets get Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. So, interesting trade there. Dinwiddie on the move and Kyrie Irving stepping in. Potential lineup for the Mavericks. You got Kyrie Irving. You got Luka Doncic. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. You got Dwight Powell and, whoever else fills in on the Mavericks. I'm not quite sure. But, I mean, on paper, they look better. But I'm not sure how this Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic relationship is going to be. It'll be interesting to see. The Nets still have some great players. Obviously, still Royce O'Neal, Ben Simmons, Nick Clayton, of course, Kevin Durant, Seth Curry. Now they have Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith. So they'll be good. Oh, I just remembered who else is on the Mavericks. It's Christian Wood. How could I forget? So, I mean, the Mavericks on paper would be good. Nets on paper should be good. I think both teams will continue to be well. It'll just be interesting to see how Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic work together. I feel like, well, obviously, Kyrie's a diva and Luka Doncic is a do-it-himself kind of a guy. I mean, he does get his teammates involved, but he's definitely the focal point of that team. So we'll see. One of them might have to take a step back. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Spencer Dinwiddie actually started in Brooklyn before he got traded to the Wizards. So kind of fun there. He'll be returning back to Brooklyn. So that's essentially what I talked about. We're yet to see any more NBA trade deadline deals happen. The trade deadline is on Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. We'll see what else can, come about. Russell Westbrook's still a name that could be moved, so we'll see what happens there. I also just want to remind you that next week I'm bringing my friend Kai on, and we will be talking about the Super Bowl, and our whole episode will be a Super Bowl preview. Again, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We will break down the game. We'll give our predictions, tell you what we're most excited for, and then obviously make our picks. So tune in to Fan Talk by Kyle Brenchley here on Spotify, iHeartradio, or YouTube. You can simply find me by searching Kyle Brenchley Fan Talk. That's the best way that it pulls up. And again, sorry for the technical difficulties, but enjoy this short episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, and good night.